Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. My name is Acting Sergeant Good. I'm a recruiter with the OPP located in the Northeast region. I'm actually up in Northern Ontario in the East Algoma Thessalon OPP detachment today. So today we've got some interesting topics that we'd like to speak to you about. Some of the areas of assessment that we go throughout the application process. They are education, communication, and special skills. So these are very important areas of assessment that we will be talking to you about throughout the uniform recruitment process. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about those, but I welcome you to ask questions today. So if you have any questions at all about the application process, I ask that you leave them below, and I'll try to answer them throughout this information session. So again, I'll tell you a little bit about myself before I get started. I started down in Southern Ontario in Highway Safety Division down in Burlington. Then I transferred up to the Northeast region to the East Algoma Elliott Lake Detachment. Then I transferred to the East Algoma Blind River Detachment for about 7 years and came to Thessalon after that, where I currently am. So I'm working in the recruitment as a acting sergeant at this time. And I just want to thank you. I see we've already got some messages coming in, so I just want to thank you for joining. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about education. So to apply to the Ontario Provincial Police, minimum requirement is your Ontario Secondary School Diploma or grade 12 or equivalent. So if you did not do school in Ontario, if you did school outside of Ontario in Canada or even another country, as long as you're able to provide us with your transcripts and the equivalency of the Ontario Secondary School Diploma, then that is good. We are also going to be looking at your transcript. So we will be looking at your marks from high school. We'll be looking at your marks from college, university, if you did go to a post-secondary school. So please make sure that you upload your transcripts when you are applying. That is one of the requirements. So when you're gathering all of your information that you need to add to your application, make sure that you contact your old schools and you receive those transcripts. So a question that we get asked a lot of the time is, does your schooling have to be in a policing field? Does it have to be in law? No, it does not. I went to school for sport and physical education at a university. I did my post-secondary there, and I had a great time. I learned a lot, met a lot of people from Northern Ontario, which was a great time, and applied to the OPP after that. So I had no background or knowledge in policing formally through schooling before I did apply to the OPP. But when I did apply, they did look at my transcripts from university and saw my marks, and they went through those with me. So make sure whatever you do after college or after high school, that it's something that you enjoy, that you're going to do well in, because we will be looking at your marks. So for those of you who may not have done anything after high school, you just have your Ontario Secondary School Diploma, we will be looking at anything that you've done since high school. If you are, say, in a full-time career right now and you've done some courses throughout your current employment, we will be looking at that. We want to see what you have been doing to continuously learn, because as a police officer, as an OPP officer, you have to be willing to continuously learn. Our job is always changing, so we're always doing online learning through our jobs. So we want to make sure that you are able to do that and you're able to successfully complete the Ontario Police College when you are hired. So let's talk a little bit about the Ontario Police College. Of course, like I said, your Ontario Secondary School Diploma is the minimum requirement to get in with the OPP. So if you are able to achieve that grade 12, then you should be able to be successful at the Ontario Police College. When you're there, you're expected to get 75% in your studies. So that's all of your courses. So we want to make sure that you're going to do well. We've put a lot of time and effort in you, and we want you to succeed through the Ontario Police College. So we will support you in any way we need to. So let's also talk about communication skills. That's another area of assessment that we are continuously evaluating you on throughout the recruitment process. When you fill in your application, there are areas that you're going to fill in and write about all the other areas of assessment, such as your education and your background in volunteering, community service, and who you are. And we want to make sure that you are able to communicate yourself well and your ideas, and you're able to talk to us about who you are, that your spelling and grammar is proper, that you are proficient in speaking, reading, and writing English, because that is a minimum requirement. Then when we get to the interview stage, we will be assessing your communication skills verbally. So we will be talking to you about situations. We will be talking to you about who you are. So there's all these different things that we are going to be continuously assessing you on throughout the whole recruitment process. We want you to obviously be able to de-escalate conflicts as a police officer. We want you to be able to share empathy and be professional as a police officer. So we need you to tell us exactly who you are, communicate stories about your past experiences. We want to know all about you. So make sure that when you are applying, first of all, your application, you get somebody to review it with you. Make sure that before you do an interview that you do maybe do a practice one with somebody else, just to kind of get comfortable in the interview setting. As a police officer, we're continuously doing interviews with people. We are dealing with people from all different backgrounds, very diverse population. As you know, that the population in Ontario is extremely diverse, and it's different from the Northwest region sometimes to a bigger city in Toronto. So you have to be willing and open to speak to people and be inclusive and be willing to listen to people and their problems that they may be experiencing in a professional manner, of course. Okay, that also means being able to write reports. One very, very important and skill that we have as police officers is being able to report or write a report. We are doing this continuously when we go to calls for service, after we have to talk about what happened. Sometimes we have to do briefs for criminal charges, things like that. So we have to be able to write those effectively and be able to explain the situation that was that we just went to in the call for service. So the last area that we're going to be talking about today is special and transferable skills. So this doesn't have to be something that that is formal. This can be something informal. It could be something formal, like being a volunteer firefighter and having some extra training for that. Maybe having something other than just first aid and CPRC, which is one of the minimum requirements when applying to the OPP. It could be something formal, like having your PAL, having some experience with firearms, having already completed your hunter safety course, having a security license, having experience serving liquor in an establishment, and therefore having your smart serve. So those are all kind of formal things that you may have, but some informal skills that you might have is being really good with computers and different processes. If you're good at formatting computers, things like that, that's something that you could put down. Maybe you have some really good carpentry skills that you've gotten from a past career. Maybe you have some skills in customer service, working at a retail establishment, or maybe you have some experience being a volunteer first aid with St. John's Ambulance or ski patrol on a local ski hill. Those are things that you can write down. So anything that you have taken that you would consider a special skill, please let us know. These are things that kind of set you apart from other people. For example, like I stated before, having your PAL or having experience with firearms. I know myself, when I came on with the OPP, I'd never seen a firearm in real life before. I'd never held one before. So I remember going and being fitted for my firearm for the first time and seeing it. And that was an unreal experience for me. So if you already have the experience, that could help you throughout your training. So I'm going to have a look at some questions right now. I've gone through a lot of the areas of assessment right now that we have been talking about today. Okay. So there's a question from one of our audience members here. I did my studies from outside of Canada where the syllabus was in English. Is it mandatory to provide an education or the education credential? Yes, we want to see exactly where we want to see that it meets the minimum requirements. So it would be equivalent to your Ontario Secondary School transcript, and you did graduate from, we'll say, high school. So we will be looking at that, and there are programs and companies online that can do that for you and translate it for you, just that we know that you do meet those minimum requirements. It's okay if you've done schooling outside of Canada, outside of Ontario, that's totally fine as long as you meet those minimum requirements. Oh, we've got an awesome one here. Can sports like skydiving be a special skill? Absolutely, that's awesome. If you've been skydiving, that's pretty cool. If you are an instructor, if you are another example would be if you're a coach of a team, if you have a trainer certificate, or if you have any coaching for any sporting teams, put that down. If you're a teacher, you might have some courses that you've taken, also some courses that you may have taken through your employment that you currently have. Please put those down on your application. We'll be talking to you about those. So we have somebody asking, they have experience in social services. Do I still need to have volunteer work? Yes, we are looking to see how you are involved in your community, what you're doing in your community, and how you are a leader in your community. So make sure that you are getting involved in your community outside of just your work. If you can get involved, maybe something outside of work, maybe after hours where you're helping out with a program, that works as well. But if you are being paid for the social services that you are currently working in, then obviously that's not going to count as your community service. We have somebody asking about the interview. Can I bring notes into the interview? No, we don't want you to bring notes into the interview. I will ask regularly if you have a pen and paper in case you want to write some notes down yourself throughout the interview when you're trying to articulate yourself and come up with an answer to one of the questions that I ask you. But myself as an interviewer, I will ask to see that paper beforehand to make sure that you don't have notes written down there. The interview is just about you. We're not trying to trick you. We're not trying to quit anything. We just want to know about what your knowledge is of policing. We want to know about what your background is like. So we are not trying to trick you in any kind of way. Okay, somebody's asking about grades in college and university. Good question. And in high school, of course. We are looking to make sure that you can achieve 75 at the Ontario Police College. We understand that some university and college programs are challenging. Maybe you didn't achieve that 75% in some of the courses, but we just want to make sure that you will be successful in getting that 75% at the Ontario Police College. So we want to make sure that you have the ability to learn, that you're willing to learn, and you want to continuously learn, because this career is one where you're going to have to continuously learn new laws. You're going to have to learn new computer programs. They're always changing. So we want to make sure that you've got that ability to learn. And we will be talking to your references, as you are required to have 3 learning and development references on your application when you're applying. So we will be speaking to them about your ability to learn as well. Is swimming a necessary skill? So it is not necessary, but it is a great one to have, of course. It's not a minimum requirement. I know we do have a lot of people that are uncomfortable around the water, and maybe that's not their strong skill set. If you are a lifeguard, that's an example of a transferable skill, a special skill that you might have that you can write down on your application. But as for it being a minimum skill, it is not a minimum requirement. Of course, as a police officer, you might have to go to a call for service where you have to go to a lake or a pool and assist somebody there, and you might have to get out of your comfort zone. But if you know you're not a strong swimmer, just make sure that you let your coworkers know that, and they know if that call for service comes up that maybe somebody else should take it rather than you. I received an interview call and I have a question regarding the Inclusion Insights Challenge and the Be the Bridge Challenge. Can you further explain? So the Inclusion Insights and Be the Bridge Challenge, those are two challenges that the OPP has on our website for you to complete if you would like to do so. Those are great challenges to show us that you're willing to learn, that you're motivated, and you've got some background in those areas. So again, those are on our website. If you go on and just type them in at the search bar at the top, they should pop up. Have a look. They can be worked on over numerous days. It's not like you have to open and close it and do it all at one time. You can do it on your own time. And at the end, you will receive a certificate saying that you completed them. And when you apply, you can add that to your application. If you've already applied, that's fine as well. You can send that in after you have applied, and we will add it to your application. Okay. I was a certified personal trainer, but it's expired. That's totally fine. Let us know that you were a certified personal trainer. We love to know that you have the knowledge of physical activity, training, all that kind of stuff. Whether you've got a nutrition background, that's great. Those are all great skill sets that you're bringing. As well as if you're a personal trainer, that kind of speaks to leadership too, because you are leading people in your community, teaching about a healthy lifestyle. And things like that, and showing them how to use equipment at the gym. So that's totally a great thing to add to your application. Okay, so we have someone stating that or asking about having a motorcycle license. So yes, absolutely, that's a special skill. My understanding is to get your motorcycle license, you do have to take an extra driving course too. That's a special skill as well. So please let us know about that when you apply. That's an extra driving course that you have and some extra experience that you do have in a special skill. And if you drive vehicles, operate motor vehicles such as ATVs, snowmobiles, side-by-sides, that's also another special skill that could be useful if you're moving to the north or to an area that does have trails. Okay, just looking at a few of the questions here. So how many days will a new recruit get to report to their detachment after graduation? So that depends obviously on where you're going, where your shift falls. That's something that your detachment commander will let you know, and probably your coach officer will let you know. Sometimes you have a few days off before you report. Sometimes you leave Aurelia and you've got to head up to your location or down to your location right away. So it just depends on where you're going, what shift you're going to. There's normally a lot of communication between the detachment that you're being posted to, your coach officer, detachment commander, and you when you're at the Provincial Police Academy after OPC. And also asking if you get time if you're relocating. Yes. So that, again, if you are in Aurelia, you're completing your training there, and you are going to, say, Kenora. That's a pretty far place to go to. You're going to have to make some arrangements to get all your stuff up there. That's an arrangement that will be made between you, your coach officer, and your detachment commander as to what's going to happen and what your schedule is going to be like. They're not going to have you leave or arrive there the next day if it's not if you're not able to, because that's a pretty far location to get to. Okay, so one of our viewers mentioned that they were a soccer coach for many years and life changed, and they're a single parent with dogs. Would that affect them if they have 20 years of volunteering experience? No, we want to see that your volunteering has been consistent, that this isn't something that you've just started doing over the past year just because you have decided now you want to be an officer. We want to see that you've been committed to your community, that you've been helping out, and that this is something that's consistent. If it's been 20 years, that shows your consistency. So we appreciate you for sure for volunteering in your community and helping children's development in sport. That's awesome. So thank you very much. Okay, so I've got somebody here saying that they submitted their 20-meter shuttle run yesterday and they're waiting for a reply. Is there any guide for the interview prep? There is no guide for the interview prep. My suggestion to you is that you review your application. There's a great tool that we have on our website. It's our reach videos that we have. Actually, they're posted on YouTube, so have a look there and review those are great to kind of refresh your mind in the whole process and the areas of assessment. But again, go through your application, go through your transcripts, go through those 10 areas of assessment that we always speak about and that we do have on our website, and make sure that you are touching on all of them. Think about questions we might ask you. Another thing I spoke about when I talked a little bit about communication is when you're completing your interview, there are some questions where we do ask you to answer them in a SARE, so situation, action, intent, result format. Some people use a STAR format, people use a SARE format. My suggestion to you would be practice answering questions in that format. It can be uncomfortable. Practice talking about yourself and what you've done. I know that for a lot of people, they're kind of uncomfortable talking about themselves and what they've done in the past, and they like to talk about what they did as a team. Make sure that you talk about yourself. I did this, I did that, how you did it. So the example, come up with an example, talk about the action, so whatever you did, the intent, so why you did it, and the overall results. So if you practice that, you'll set yourself up for some success. Okay. What does training and progression path look like after OPC? That's a good question. So after OPC, you will go to the Provincial Police Academy. You will be provided with extra information, OPP related information. You will learn about forms. You will learn about other firearms that we do learn, and you will do all your qualifications for the shotgun and the C8. You will also learn about domestic violence. You will learn about standard field sobriety testing, all those kinds of things. And it's more geared to the way us as OPP officers conduct our job. So that will be done in approximately 2 months or so, maybe a little less. You will go back to your detachment. You will be posted with a coach officer. At that time, you will be working hand in hand 24/7 with whoever your coach officer is for about 2 months. They will be helping you at calls for service. They will be driving with you until you receive what is called your day wings. So that's when you're able to drive around in a police car by yourself without your coach officer. Your coach officer may come to support you at calls for service, but you're able to go on your own. And as long as it is light out, you're able to be on your own during the day. Then after 2 more months, you will get an opportunity to be signed off for your night wings. So that's you riding on your own, going to calls by yourself, day or night. So your coach officer again may come to support you, and other members on your platoon may come to support you, but they're always there to guide you and assist you when writing reports, learning how to deal with different calls. Again, there's so much to learn as a police officer, and things are always changing. Sometimes there's a call that you haven't had in years. So you need to kind of brush up on that. There might be a coach officer or a member of your platoon that's really good at that kind of call because they've had one recently. So they would be able to assist you with that. So again, you will be with a coach officer for approximately 4 months if you get signed off for your day and night wings. And then after that, you'll be riding on your own, and you can be signed off from probation after your 1 year. Okay. Somebody's asking if they're still able to apply to become a police officer if they have a private investigator license. Absolutely, that would be a special skill and great experience, transferable skill that you would have that could assist you in being successful for sure as a police officer. Would volunteering for a couple hours for a specific event be considered community service, or do I have to be committed and a daily volunteer for a specific agency or community service? Would being a volunteer for the requalification tri-service use of force training be considered community service? Absolutely. You don't need to have formal community service where you're, say, a hockey coach or a soccer coach or a gymnastics coach or helping out with something like Special Olympics. You don't need to have something formal like that. It could be something informal. It could be helping some elderly neighbors out that are unable to shovel the snow. I know that we just had our first snowfall, and a lot of the time we need to help our neighbors out and maybe shovel the end. So that would be considered community service. But absolutely, if you're going to an event and you're just there for a few hours, make sure you write that down. That's absolutely community service. If you're helping out at a run, if you're helping out at, I know there's brownies, there's Boy Scouts. I know those kinds of things. They're always looking for volunteers. If you're helping out in those organizations, that's volunteer service. You're not getting paid for it. We just really want to see that you are a good member in your community. You want to help people out. And you know what? These kinds of volunteer opportunities actually help you build your leadership skills and communication skills with people that you might not always interact with. One thing I suggest to people is if you don't have a lot of volunteer experience, I know that a lot of local old age homes, retirement residents, they're always looking for some people to come in and play cards or just have coffee with them and talk with the people there. And that's a great way to interact with people in your community and practice your communication skills and telling stories. I know that that's also a great way to practice your listening skills because they always have lots of stories to tell about their childhood and their family. So that's a great way to get involved and volunteer your time for sure. And I know it's very appreciated. So that's a great opportunity too. Okay. Would the auxiliary process help you be recruited as an officer? And do you have to do another interview to be a constable? Yes. So the auxiliary program with the OPP is a great way to volunteer, to get involved and get your feet wet. There's plenty of opportunities that will be provided, going to events in uniform, being seen as a leader in your community, going to events like Stuff a Cruiser, going to help with road closures at things like Santa Claus parades, or anytime something's going on, going for ride-alongs with officers. A lot of the times, auxiliary members get opportunities to ride along frontline members and go to calls for service. So that's a great way to get involved in your community, get involved with the OPP, show your commitment and your motivation to be a police officer, and show that you are committed to the OPP as an organization. So that is a great way to get involved. To apply to the auxiliary program, again, it's on our website, opp.ca/careers. Have a look at it. Have a look at the minimum requirements. You are required to have your full G license for that. And there are some minimum requirements there, but it is a great way to get involved and to get involved in policing context and really see if it is what you want to do for a career. And just the second part of the question was, do you have to have another interview to be a constable? Yes, you do. So if you are successful at becoming an auxiliary member, and you've worked, maybe you volunteered your time for a year or so and you're looking to apply to be a constable, that's awesome. You will have to apply exactly the same ways you applied to be an auxiliary member. You will have to have similar things like your first aid CPRC. You will have to have your transcripts from college, university, high school. You will have to provide all those documents and fill out an application exactly the same way, and you will be having another local focused interview with an officer, one of our recruitment officers. And the process is very similar. So you will have to conduct or go through the psychological testing as well. You will have to do a lot of other different things throughout the process, such as backgrounds. But in the end, you have a lot of things to speak to. So you've probably been put in situations that you can speak to those 10 areas of assessment. You can talk about your leadership. You might have examples that might help you answer questions, such as the SARE format questions we ask you throughout the interview. So it's a great opportunity. Someone's asking if they can have a copy of their application with them during the interview. We ask that you don't have anything with you. We ask that you have everything put aside, except for maybe a bottle of water or a coffee. And if the recruiter is okay with you having a piece of paper, of course, you show front and back to us at the beginning. We will want to see what's going on in front and behind you to make sure that you have nothing in front of you, because again, our interviews are all online through Microsoft Teams, so they are virtual still. So we will ask you to see those areas. Does previous ride-along experience benefit in the application process? You know what, I think going for a ride-along is a great experience that you can probably speak to throughout the interview. It really gives you good insight as to what to expect as a police officer. I'm sure you will learn right away that policing involves a lot of paperwork and report writing and dictating. So again, it is a great way to see a local detachment, maybe go to a different detachment that you are unaware of. There's plenty of opportunities to do that. So reach out to your local recruiter in the region that you currently live in, and they might be able to set you up with something, or reach out to the local detachment and see if you can set something up. Somebody's asking if they can reapply earlier than 1 year if unsuccessful. So if unsuccessful in the recruitment process, when you've applied to be a regular recruit, you are required to wait 1 year from the date that you received your email saying that you were unsuccessful. Again, that 1 year is for everyone. So it's not just you that's told you've got to wait 1 year, but yes, you're going to have to wait 1 year from the date that you received that email. You can start your application before that, but you just can't press submit until that 1 year date has come and gone. Somebody's asking about age limit to be a police officer. So that is 18 years old. And minimum requirements: that you have your full G-class license, that you are a Canadian citizen or you have your permanent residency, that you've got your first aid CPRC, and like I already stated before, that you have graduated from high school and have the equivalency if you didn't get your OSSD, so the Ontario Secondary School Diploma. And you have to be able to reach level 7 on the shuttle run. So that's the 20-meter ledger shuttle run test. And that, I guess it's a great time to speak about that now. So as of right now, that's our minimum fitness requirement is achieving that level 7. We do have the audio file that is on our website, and if you YouTube it, I'm sure you'll find it as well. So that is the minimum requirement. We do have shuttle run events that we have scheduled around the province. Have a look at our website at opp.ca/careers. And if you scroll down to the bottom, or opp.ca/events, you will see all of the shuttle runs, information sessions that we have upcoming in the near future that can kind of set you up for success. A shuttle run event is you attending an event that we are hosting. And if you achieve level 7 on that shuttle run, we will give you a certificate that's good for 30 days. So if you are in the application process or have already applied, you can upload that certificate. And again, it's good for 30 days, and you won't have to submit another shuttle run video or get another certificate until you receive a conditional offer. So I think we have a few more questions here. Can you tell me a little bit more about the local focused interview? I know that's a hot topic here. So the local focus interview, you're going to be assigned an interview with one of our recruiters. It could be myself or a recruiter from all over the province. It's done on Microsoft Teams at this moment. It's online. We ask that you have no one in the room with you, of course, and that you're in a quiet setting. We send you all the instructions that you need for the interview. It takes anywhere, we'll say, I'll give you a ball of 1 hour to 3 hours, depending on the person, depending on your experience, depending on how you articulate yourself. Just because it's short doesn't mean it was a bad interview. Just because it's long doesn't mean it's good or bad either way. So just make sure that you articulate yourself, that you're honest and open, because that's the main thing throughout these interviews. We want to learn about you. We want to learn about what you've done. We want you to tell us about yourself, because sure, we've seen your application, but sometimes I see applications, they don't have a lot of information on them. And then all of a sudden, when I start speaking to somebody, I learn a lot more, and I realize this person's actually a great candidate. I wish they put more on their application. So make sure that you just review your application and you go through those 10 areas of assessment that we always talk about, like the ones that we're talking about today, like your education. There's things that you might not think are part of your education, like courses that you took through your employment. Make sure that you write everything down, because what we see is what we know. Also, one thing that I didn't really touch on under special skills is, do you speak any other languages? Are you bilingual? Are you trilingual? Do you have anything special? Have you lived outside of Canada? Have you lived in a different country? Things like that. Those could be special skills as well. Being able to operate a motor vehicle in a different country, abiding by different laws, and then coming here to Canada. That's also pretty interesting as well. So make sure that anything that you think could be a special skill, you write down. Somebody's mentioned that they've been asked to download 24 months of their financial history, but it's about 50 pages and they're unable to download it. They want to know how to proceed. Contact your background investigator. They'll provide you with all the information that you need. That's the stage where you will be asked to submit financial history. So contact them. They'll guide you along the way. I can't answer that myself because they're the ones that deal with that part of the process. Okay, when submitting fitness logs, should we submit the 2 pages in one file or 2 pages in 2 different files? That's totally up to you. Again, we want to see that you are completing your fitness logs and that you are being consistent. So make sure that you are uploading those. My suggestion to anyone when thinking about applying is start doing your fitness logs right away. Write down if you're running, write down if you are doing strength training, if you're playing any sports, if you are part of a pickup hockey league or a volleyball league, or you're going for walks with your animals, things like that. We want to know what you're doing. Make sure that you are writing everything down. And what we love to see is that you're trying to do the PIN test. So on the right hand column, there is all the areas of the police PIN test. that we are looking at. We look at that to see if you're able to achieve 75% in those tests. So those tests are the sit and reach, the tests are push-ups. There is a guide online, if you look it up, if you Google it, as well as it's on the application itself on the side, where you can actually see your results for your age and gender. So we want to make sure that you're able to achieve that 75% for your age and gender. So make sure that you are looking at the appropriate column when writing down your results on that. We are also looking at your 2.4 kilometer run. So let us know how long it takes you to do that 2.4 kilometer run. So just make sure that you're being consistent, that you are writing down everything you're doing, because we are going to be looking at those throughout the whole process to make sure that you are in shape. Make sure that you are able to achieve that 75% in that and achieve level 7 in the shuttle run, which is what you need to be successful in the application process, and a minimum requirement. Someone mentioned, does family members' criminal records affect you as a candidate? So that's one that you're going to have to articulate and tell us about that. I can't speak to that myself, but that's, you're going to have to let us know who this family member is, and as long as you're open and honest, that's the main thing throughout the process. That's all we ask, is that your integrity is intact and that you don't try to hide anything from us. What communication skills are most valued in police work? Verbal, written, nonverbal. These are all super, super important. Again, as police officers, we are really problem solvers in our community. So we have to be able to articulate ourselves. We have to go to a call for service where people may be really stressed out, yelling and screaming. We have to be able to understand what we're going through, show our empathy, listen. We are going to need to find out what the problem is, come up with a solution, and then articulate it in a report after, and speak to everyone that's involved about what's going on, and continuously keep people in the loop. So all of these different communication skills are very, very important in being a police officer. So somebody says that they have their interview next week. They're stressed out about it, and would like to know the approximate questions and what typically is asked in the LFI. So I can't tell you the questions again, but like I said, just review your application that you've submitted. Those areas that you've spoken about, that's what we're going to talk to you about. There's no tricks up our sleeve. We're just going to talk to you about yourself, and we're honestly, I see you're asking if it's a 2-hour time frame. Like I said earlier, 1 to 3 hours, depends on the person. And don't stress out about it. I think if you practice with somebody, a family member, a friend, just practice talking about yourself, and that can kind of relieve some stress. I promise you, it's not as scary as you think it will be. Are there opportunities to receive specialized training in public speaking or community outreach? You know what? The OPP provides tons of opportunities to continuously develop yourself. We do have courses that you're able to go on. I don't know if there's specifically ones for public speaking, but we do have our community services officers that do receive training on community outreach and dealing with some public speaking and media training. So there are opportunities. It just depends on where you are and if they are available to those locations. Are certain degrees, such as criminology, psychology, and sociology, preferred or give you an advantage? I wouldn't say, other than you would have some knowledge of the criminal code, you would have some knowledge maybe of the way people act, things like that. Yeah, they they would provide you with a little background on that kind of stuff. But again, minimum requirement to apply is your high school diploma. What if I fail the fitness component at the college? So you need to pass the prep test, and that is a circuit followed by around a 5-minute rest and then a shuttle run. So that is the minimum fitness requirement at the Ontario Police College. We require you to pass that for you to be successful and receive your diploma and continue with the OPP. So that is a minimum requirement. So my suggestion to you is before you apply, if you are concerned that you may be unsuccessful in the fitness component, make sure that you practice your running. Go to one of our shuttle runs where we do have a prep component so that you can try it out. I know there's plenty of opportunities throughout the province to get a chance to try that out beforehand. Fitness is the one thing that you can actually prepare for. You know what to expect. It's not a written test with a multiple choice that you will be doing at the Ontario Police College. It is the one thing that you know exactly what you're doing. And if you are unable to achieve it in the allotted time frame, I believe it's 2 minutes and 37 seconds, then start working on it. Go to as many events as you can. Get the tips and tricks from the recruiters, from the college instructors that are there. I know in Sudbury we have a great opportunity at Cambrian College monthly where they do set up the prep equipment, and the instructor there at the college will run you through the actual full prep test so that you're able to see how to use the different components of it. And he does give you good tips and tricks. So that's a great opportunity that there is in the Northeast region, but I know there are different areas that there are opportunities to try out the prep equipment as well. So my suggestion is go prep before. Again, that is the one thing that you can prepare for. You know you need to achieve that level 7, and you know that you need to be successful in the prep in order to receive your diploma from the Ontario Police College and become a police officer with the OPP. So what certifications or additional training are most useful before applying? So again, you need your first aid CPRC when you're applying. So that's minimum. If you have anything on top of that, let us know what you have. I've seen people with that have been with EMS. I've seen people that have some mental health first aid courses. Those are all great courses that will provide you with different knowledge and the ability to deal with people with maybe more serious medical issues that are going on, or be able to help people that are in a medical crisis or a mental health crisis. So those are just some extra courses that could help you out for sure. Defensive tactics, absolutely. If you've got a black belt in karate, if you do any kind of MMA fighting, jiu-jitsu, anything like that, those are special skills that we want to know about. That gives you one up. We do regular yearly training, defensive tactics training, when we do our block training once a year. So we do get a chance to do that as police officers. But at the Ontario Police College, we do a fair bit of defensive tactics when we're there. And already having that knowledge of how to, say, grapple on the ground, or how to do karate and have that structure and that background, that's awesome. That's one less thing to worry about learning when you're at the Ontario Police College. Okay, so I'm going to go to one last question here. Somebody is stating that they got rejected at psych. Can you give me some tips for the future? So if you're not rejected, you've been declined at psych. My suggestion is reapply in 1 year. So you have to wait 1 year from the time that you've been told that you were unsuccessful. So when you reapply, you go through your psych again. Just make sure that you answer exactly what comes to mind first. don't stress out about it. Don't overthink the questions. Just answer what comes first. As you know, there's many different areas in the psych assessment. It can be fairly long. My suggestion is always have a good sleep the night before. And I know it's hard when you said you were unsuccessful the first time. Make sure that you get that good sleep so that you're rested and ready to go. So that was the last question that I was answering today, but just some upcoming events that we do have going on. We have some recruiters that are going to be at the National Women's Show on Friday, November 21st to the 23rd, and that's at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. So come check out our area there. We will have recruiters that want to speak to you about a career in law enforcement with the Ontario Provincial Police. We also have shuttle runs throughout the province that are going on over the next, I guess, 2 weeks. So have a look at our website at opp.ca/careers, and you can see all the events at the bottom of the page. Again, thank you very much for joining me today, and I wish you all the best in the recruitment